Alright everybody, we're in the house today. RV, same thing. We're going to be removing the chain off of that there bike, and we're going to give it a good waxing. It was a factory chain to start. I don't know if you can hear me with all this wind noise going on, but that's an Eagle chain. We just swapped over to a mullet setup with a Rudy fork. But we just finished a 90-mile ride, so we're going to clean that chain because there's no way it's good anymore. And then we're going to show you the benefits to waxing your chain. Alright, so all the tools we're going to need to have with me. Got chain tool, gloves for that dirty chain, some Kelly clamps, just because it's convenient. You can also use a hanger for this step. I just don't have any metal hangers. We don't like to keep them around. Just not something we use all that often. But this is our basic setup. Right, so now we gotta do the hard task of walking over to the bike and finding that lovely master link. Nice thing is, on a lot of the Eagle setups, they do a color mismatch. So that guy right there, we're just gonna take. And if you do have an Eagle cassette, or if you do have an Eagle rear mech, there's a spring button right there that I've got activated, so you can see there's no tension on that. And then we're just going to put the chain tool in, give it a good old pinch, let go, and it all falls apart. And I always pull these guys because they tend to love to hit the floor, and they're always nasty. Oh, well, there we go, hit the floor anyway. Alright, and then I'm going to grab here, pull it off of that guy, let it fall through, and pull it out the back. And we're going to take this guy, and I'll meet you outside with it in a moment. Alright, well here's the part that you guys are probably going to be like, well, I don't have one of those. But worst case, soak it in some Dawn and dish soap, give it a good wash with a hand rag before you go to put it in our wax setup. But I'll show you the wax setup here in a little bit. It's just a Hornady ultrasonic cleaner. I'm going to put it in a bag, and I'll show you guys that as it goes in and show you what settings I use. And we'll be back with you shortly. Ziploc bag, quart size, chain, dropping right down in there. I also go ahead and put the master links in there. And if you can see how dirty that glove is, this is the big advantage to waxing, because we won't be having to deal with that anymore. So I'm going to slightly close this. We're going to move to here. I've got a nice little outdoor sink here. I'm going to take that glove off so I don't get my sink nasty. Pardon the mess, I'm sorry. This is the travel life, unfortunately. And we're going to put a little bit of water in there. And then what we're going to do is, I don't know how well you can see me, but we're going to pull this out of here. We're going to get almost all this air out. Just a little bit of a squirt there, and close it. And then in my vat here, you'll see I have a little bit of water already. Well, depending on where that went camera-wise. We're going to set this guy down in there. And then I'm going to add a little bit more water. And then I'll go over the settings with you. Alright, well, we used our trusty little Nalgene there to top up the water. You can see it's nice and full, almost all the way up. Alright, so now that we've made sure that guy's plugged in, we're going to put the lid on. We're going to go up to 30 minutes. And I tend to do this twice, and I'm going to throw on the heat setting here. And send her going. We got our wax here, which is actually, oh, it's more solid than it looks. But this is just paraffin wax from Walmart, nothing special. I'll try to throw a picture of it right here, 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 there. Who knows? You can see the little bit of grease on the hand from the wax before, or from the chain lube before. But yeah, we're gonna leave it in the rice cooker here. Some people use a crock pot. I like the rice cooker because even on the warm setting, it'll tend to melt it. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna plug that guy in. And we're going to let them just sit there for about the next 30 minutes or so. They'll get nice and warm. Alright, I'm going to take you guys and set you here. We're going to empty out this bag. Careful if you do use the heat setting. It is going to be warm. So I'm going to pick up this bag. I unzipped it up there. I can feel that it's warm. So I'm just going to drain it. This goes into my gray tanks. And it's just water. Just water. And then I like to go ahead and put my water in first on this one because the ultrasonic does tend to shake up the Dawn. We just need a basic degreaser. Doesn't matter what you use. I just use a squirt bottle of Dawn, do 2 light little squirts. Just enough to get some in there. We're going to do the same thing we did last time. We're going to squeeze here until most of the air's out. There we go. Pretty good. And then we're going to set her back down in there. Ooh, that's warm water for cycle number 2. And I don't know if you guys can see that because I really can't. Let's see, this is 25 minutes. Nice. Heat. Nice. On. Good to go. We'll check on that again in 30 more minutes, and after she's done there, she'll go in the wax vat. We're gonna go ahead and turn him on cook, and then we're gonna wander outside and pull that chain off. It is mostly good after a while of being warm, but we're gonna let cook go ahead and melt that last bit of wax up. So now that the lid's off and secure, I'm gonna grab this guy out here. He's a little melty. I'm just gonna let him sit over here. Might run some cool water, help that chill out just a little bit. But you see that water's still nice and clean because we use the bag. So this is helpful. The water's nice and cold. Neutralize that hot bag real quick. Now that we're back inside, we're gonna finish draining this. I just like to see the master links and have an option to catch them. That way we don't lose our master link down a drain, because that's not fun. Alright, well, we didn't mention the towel earlier as a needed part, but it definitely is. We're going to get everything out of that bag there. 1 link, 2 link, and then we're going to grab our trusty chain and do the best we can to lay it out in a nice little line. And this is where, if you use a white towel like this, you figure out how greasy your chain was real quick. I'm going to take and wipe this down with another towel before I put it in the wax. But the wax is almost ready, but we do want this to be semi-dry or mostly dry, just so we don't trap a bunch of water in the chain and give it spots to rust. So I'm going to give this about 10 minutes to dry while we let the last of that wax melt, and then I'll be back with you guys and I'll show you how it goes in, and then we'll pull it out shortly and we'll be wrapped up, ready to install it. Why are you guys in there? Come on now. You're supposed to be helping me wax this chain. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take this freshly dried. If you do want to use a hanger to get it out, slide it in where this blue arrow is and run about 5 links long, and then loop it back up and just keep threading the hanger through. Give you a lot easier handle to get it out of the wax. Alright, so we're all ready here. We got the lid off. It's still a little warm, probably shouldn't have just grabbed that. But we're going to take the chain, we're going to drop it down in there, and then we'll use those clamps over there to pull it out. Sometimes I'll use the clamp to put it in. I just like to kind of grab it and give it a light drop in there. Doesn't really matter too much. This isn't a real particular process. Tool probably would be smarter to avoid getting splashed. I use these clamps here. So what I'm going to do is just give that a little shake around. And we're going to let those air bubbles stop coming out of the chain. I'm going to put the lid back on. We're going to let that sit on warm for probably 10-ish minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. Depends on how many bubbles you get. And I'll check back in with you guys shortly. Alright, well, here we are. It looks like it is probably done bubbling. Oh yeah, definitely done bubbling. So we're going to pull that out of there nice and gentle. Set it on this, and again, I would normally like to use wax paper here, but I do not have any at the moment, and this chain really needs cleaned. So we're just going to reach these guys down in there, do a nice little grab, and you can thread this on a hanger, which is honestly much cleaner. But I'm just going to slowly and gently pull that out of there. That way no major drips. Get most of it back in the pot. Get the chain decently flat. And go ahead and get these loops out of it. It really doesn't matter if you do this here or not. You can do it after the chain dries. I just like to do it preemptively, and that way it doesn't stick quite so bad to the paper. It sticks a lot less to the parchment paper. I didn't wax the links this time, but honestly, there's so much wax that typically fills those little holes. I don't think it's needed. But yeah. I'll show you when it's dry and putting back on. Nice easy application, but as you can see, it's a nice and shiny clean thin coat of liquid wax everywhere. And yeah, it's cheap and it works and it's clean. Why not? Alright, the wax is dry here. We're going to peel this up off of here and put it on the bike. So the nice thing is it comes off kind of rigid, so we're just going to run this around nice and easy. It's real clean because it's wax. Well, while I struggle to put this chain on here, thank you so much for watching today, If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you have any questions, hit the comments. If anybody knows a better wax to be using that's also cheap and reliable, please let me know. But this is the best thing I've currently found. I hope you have a great day and enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.